Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy298 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today on my channel. Today we're back with F1 2016 Career Mode Season 4 Part 3 for the Chinese Grand Prix here today. Now, as you can see in the vehicle performance comparison chart, we are in second place ahead of Red Bull, but still a little bit behind Mercedes-Benz. Now, if you do enjoy today's video, drop a like on it, that'd be absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel yet. And yeah, let's get into this. So in the driver's standings, we currently are in the leader of the championship by 3 points over Lewis Hamilton. And in the constructors standings, we are 4 points clear of Mercedes-Benz. So we're off to a very good start in this championship. But we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix. Traditionally, not one of my strongest tracks. Now, as you can see here, we are just getting all these practice programs completed. Of course, I find these practice programs extremely crucial because, of course, we're trying to develop the car in order to be the fastest. Now, as you can see, we managed to pass that quite easily. Then moving on into the tyre wear test, we do the same thing here, getting past, getting in front of the pack and getting the 50 resource points needed. And then we're going to do the same for the qualifying simulation run. So all is well for us here, as you can see, coming around the final corner, opening up the DRS, and that is how it's going to be. So very nicely done indeed. So as you can see then, we're going to be racking up the resource points, and we're up to 737 resource points, which is definitely more than enough to get that chassis weight upgrade that I've been talking about. However, when I was doing practice in this and the qualifying, I felt that the chassis was not actually as bad as I thought it was. Now, I definitely saw it falter me in Australia. However, it starts to be the case where I'm able to manage it now, to the point where I can actually, I can manage it. So what I'm thinking of doing is potentially doing a different upgrade, but we'll talk about that at the end of the race. Now, as you can see here in qualifying, we come through and we set the fastest lap in Q1, but it's quickly beaten by Vettel and also by Nico Rosberg. So we qualify third safely through into Q2 for this Chinese Grand Prix. We need to get a high result here because it's not a good track of mine in terms of performance. Into Q2, and now we've got some big problems. First of all, I've got Sergio Perez being a complete numbnut, and I'm trying to get past him, and I've locked up horribly into the hairpin, and Perez is still fighting me here. But the rain is falling really heavily at the moment, and it had done throughout all of Q2. So I just had to get out there and try and get some sort of lap in and see what time I can get in here. So Vettel's done a 1:41. Unfortunately, I'm very far off the pace here, and eventually, yeah, that didn't go well. Nope, I got knocked out of qualifying, and so did Nico Rosberg. So somehow, the track, I think, may have dried up at some point. I don't know. Like, I checked Q2, and it said that the track conditions were dry. However, it was raining, so I was so confused. But unfortunately, we've been knocked out of Q2. But hey-ho, that's the career mode. So we're going to be starting from 14th place for the Chinese Grand Prix. There's nothing else we can do about it. We're just going to have to perform strong in the race. So why not get into the race for the Chinese Grand Prix?
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Hamilton, Felipe Massa and Bottas, Alonso, Perez, Kvyat and Esteban Gutierrez, Sainz, Rosberg, Jenson Button and a Ferrari, Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen and Jolyon Palmer, Wehrlein and Ericsson, Rio Haryanto, and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright then, guys, as you can see, we're on the grid here for the Chinese Grand Prix. We're going to be doing a different strategy to what we normally do. We're going to be starting on the soft tyres and then going to the medium compound tyres, whereas the front runners will be starting on the Red Mark super soft tyres. As you can see on the formation lap, yeah, you don't need to worry about it, just crash into everyone. But as you can see then, we're on the grid here ready for this Chinese Grand Prix, and we've got 5 red lights here in Shanghai, and it is lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's an okay-ish start from us, actually. Not a best start, not a bad start, but you can see here, Nico Rosberg's already going for Esteban Gutierrez. However, I'm going to go around the outside of Sainz, and also Gutierrez and Rosberg and Perez and Alonso and Massa, and Bottas has gone spinning out of nowhere. It's actually, yes, Bottas has gone spinning. However, because I got loads of overtakes there, I had to give some places back. because of the yellow flags, which I was so angry about. But anyway, we were up into 8th place, now to 7th place, and now back down to 8th place here as Perez has got the Force India and the super soft tyres and the straight line speed, but making the run down towards turn 4 here, braking nice and late down the inside of Perez. We're back up into 7th place. So what an electric start from myself here. I already knew that I was going to that outside line, but I'll talk about it in the replay of the first lap. As you can see here, now I'm navigating our way through the middle sector. We now need to close back up to Fernando Alonso and also Felipe Massa, who we had to give the places back to at the start of the Grand Prix because of the spin for Valtteri Bottas. So as you can see, we are closing very quickly on Alonso. However, we do go run wide on the curb there, lose a bit of time, but now we're going to close that back up to Fernando Alonso as we make the charge now down towards this difficult banking corner, the banking right-hander, before we make the charge down the pitch, down the back straight. So as you can see here, we're trying to close that to Alonso. Annoyingly though, he's in the slipstream of Felipe Massa, which is going to help him out a lot. However, he has got the Honda engine, and it's pretty weak, to be honest. So unfortunately, Fernando is not going to have a lot of fun when I come attacking him. So as you can see here, I'm pulling out just to try and see what we're going to do here. We're closing to Alonso. Can we do something about it? Of course we can. Dive bomb down the inside here of Alonso, breaking the car, and we managed to stop the car as well, and that is Alonso out of the way and up into another position here. And Felipe Massa is on my hit list here as we take out the traditional bollards that we always do. Verstappen sets the fastest lap, which means that he's in the lead of this race, and I've managed to go up from 14th to 6th after the first lap. So what a brilliant start. And now I'm on to Felipe Massa. But let's have a look at this turn 1 incident especially, because that was what the problem was. So with the lights out, we didn't get the bestest of starts, and Rosberg got a pretty electric start and was on the alongside with Gutierrez. I always was going to take the outside line, so I was going to be able to carry more speed and get the inside into turn 2. However, Massa got spun round, and because I was going around the outside of everybody, I had to then lift off and give the places back to Massa and Alonso, and then I lost out to Perez. Annoyingly, if I wasn't caught out by the yellow flag incident, I would have been able to have been a lot closer to the Red Bulls and the Mercedes up front. However, I've lost a lot of ground basically to them. Now I've got to try and work my way back up through that traffic that I had to. So you can already see the gap between, I believe that's Ricciardo, and Felipe Massa. And that's the amount of time that I've lost having to lift off and trying to get the places back. I was literally considering not giving the places back, but I couldn't risk taking a penalty in this race because I don't know what my performance is going to be like. So I decided to just give those places straight back and work on trying to overtake them and then close up to the top 4 who are already getting away into the distance. And I could see that on the mini-map, so I knew that my time was now to really push. And crucially, I'm in front of Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes, so that means that I'm going to be a lot better in terms of my pace. And I don't have to worry about losing track of Nico potentially, because you can see him there behind. I believe that's a second McLaren, I think. Yeah, Nico definitely, in fact, he's going for an overtake. You can see him there just pulling out to the right-hand side of the circuit as I then make the charging dive bomb down the inside of Fernando Alonso here and getting past him nicely. Just a little bit wide on the exit there, but that's because we did a late braking maneuver, so we don't need to worry about that as Rosberg now gets past Gutierrez as well. So you can see how quickly he's carving his way through the field, and this is how quickly I need to be carving my way through the field as well. Luckily, though, we've already overtaken Rosberg as Verstappen sets the fastest lap that you could see there from the screen. Hamilton was all over the back of him. On to lap 2 of the Grand Prix now, and you can see that we are closed up to Felipe Massa for 5th place in this Grand Prix. And you can see through this middle sector here, this left and right-handers, I'm very, very quick against Massa now. In fact, I'm having to lift off here to not close up and go into the back of Massa, so I decide to switch back and take the inside line into this left-hander. You don't see many overtakes there. You did see them a lot, though, in the 2010 Chinese Grand Prix, I think it was. From Lewis Hamilton. I can't remember which race it was, but Hamilton always used to take that overtaking move, that line, and get loads of overtakes there, so I've done the same thing here. Now, as you can see, we're back on board with myself here, but I actually run wide here onto the curb on the banking corner, and that put me well off track. And Felipe Massa is going to take advantage of this, running wide again on the curb, so getting a little bit out of shape here as we overtake Felipe Massa. And now with that Mercedes engine, the Williams is going to come back at me, so you can see Massa here. You can just see how fast he is in that straight line with the Williams and the Mercedes engine, but it doesn't batter me because I'm better on the brakes. So down the inside here, Felipe Massa, and I managed to cover the secondary threat of Felipe. And he actually makes contact with Fernando Alonso there, so a bit cheeky from Massa there. On to lap 4 of the Grand Prix now, as we're going to be doing exactly what Max Verstappen does. Now, I was meant to come in at the end of lap 6, I believe it was, to pit for the medium compound tyres, but I decided to come in at the end of lap 4. Now, the reason for this is because Max Verstappen is on a set of the soft tyres, Felipe Massa is also on a set of soft tyres, and the pair of them both decided to come into the pits. Now, I wouldn't have known about Massa coming in, but I would have known about Max Verstappen coming in. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to be in this race, I'm going to have to do the exact same as what they've done. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to come in at the same time as Verstappen in order to try and basically not lose too much time when my soft tyres start fading away, and hope that the AIs got stuck in traffic, and that would have given me some position. So as you can see, coming out of the pits now, we're going to see where we are in comparison to everyone else, and there is Vettel and Ricciardo. So we've actually got the jump in the pit stops by doing the overcut against Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo. So by staying out longer on my first stint with my soft tyres, I've actually managed to get the jump on both Vettel and also Ricciardo. So that was actually a very well thought out plan for myself there, because if those two were continuing to fight, they may have actually had a lot more speed than me. And yeah, that was well executed. So we managed to jump Vettel and Ricciardo, which is going to put us in a strong position. So actually, the only two drivers in front of us will be Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. So actually, we're in a net third place right now in this race. So we're making very serious inroads in this Grand Prix so far. And it's been a stunning fight back, but the fight back's not over yet, so we need to carry on focusing here. So next up on the road is Kevin Magnussen in the Renault. Of course, we know he's moving to Haas next year. But you can see here, I'm just trying to shape up a little bit of a move, and I can see Hamilton in front of me there with some traffic. So round the banking corner we go here with Kevin Magnussen just by there. We're going to activate the DRS, a little bit out of shape again on that exit, but nothing to worry about. And you can see the DRS is open. We've got the car into rich fuel mixture, and we're going to come flying past Kevin Magnussen very quickly. You can see Vettel, in fact, is also going to make a move on Magnussen. Can he make that move down the inside here? Is he going to try and copy what I do? And he has done just that. A very nice move there from Vettel, and that's moved him up into 14th place, and I'm up into 13th place. But of course, we may be far down the order, but of course, we've got a lot of drivers that are still waiting to come into the pits. And next up the road is Rio Haryanto in the Manor. So of course, we want to get past him as quick as we can, because I'm still trying to set my sights on Hamilton, who is just in front of Rio Haryanto. The next car you can see on front, that's Hamilton. So really, I'm in a very strong position here to fight for the lead of this Grand Prix. Now, I do believe that Max Verstappen has also got the jump on Hamilton, because during the first stint, I wouldn't have shown it, but Lewis Hamilton overtook Max Verstappen and took the lead of the race. However, Max Verstappen from the pit stop has got in front of him. But as you can see here, down the inside of Rio Haryanto, we get that move done on him as we set the fastest first sector of the race so far. Now Max Verstappen is stuck behind a queue of about 4 or 5 cars. Lewis Hamilton is closing up to that queue, and skipping further on then to lap 6 of the Grand Prix, down into the hairpin we go. Hamilton's in front of Verstappen, and this is the queue I'm on about here. They've got Nasser, Ericsson and Palmer all to negotiate and get past. So hopefully they don't come into the pits here, otherwise that's not going to allow me to get in front. And only Nasser, I believe it is, has come into the pits there, so we're still okay. We've got Palmer and Ericsson to try and fight past. So Hamilton here is going to go to the inside of Marcus Ericsson, and he does that very nicely here. And I've actually stayed in front of Nico Rosberg. That was Rosberg coming out of the pits, so he's also got the jump on Vettel and Ricciardo here. As I go down the inside of Max Verstappen here, carrying a lot more speed into turn 1 than Verstappen was, and I've managed to make a cheeky overtake there as he was following the Sauber. He got completely distracted by what that Sauber was doing, that I've taken full advantage of this, and I'm not done yet. I'm going to go down the inside of the Sauber as well, and now I'm making some serious inroads on this traffic, and it's clear to see that I am a lot better at getting through this traffic than the AIs are, and that is really helping me out here. So as you can see on lap 7 of this Grand Prix now, Hamilton is stuck behind Jolyon Palmer, who leads this Grand Prix here, but you can see Hamilton getting held up by Palmer here and breaking into this right-hander. Hamilton very close down to Palmer, and I'm also close to Hamilton, and I'm going to do the same thing as Massa down inside of Lewis Hamilton here to take second place in this Chinese Grand Prix. Next up is Jolyon Palmer. So once I said again, I am better at negotiating this traffic right now, and because I knew this was the only form of advantage I had at this race at the moment, I am taking full advantage of everything that is coming my way. Next up is Jolyon Palmer, who I want to get past as quick as I can and hope that Lewis Hamilton doesn't get past him, but of course he has got a Mercedes car. So as you can see then, coming around the banking corner, now onto the back straight here, we've got Jolyon Palmer in front of us. We're going to go to the right hand side of the circuit and activate the DRS, and as you can see, we've taken over Jolyon Palmer, and now we lead this Chinese Grand Prix. After starting 14th, we now lead this Grand Prix. Hamilton gets past Jolyon Palmer as well, so it seems that he was able to negotiate the traffic a lot better than I can. However, I now lead this race. However, onto lap 8 of the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton is, well, let's face it, very fast. So as you can see here, we're coming around through this corner here, around the banking corner. You can see now Hamilton is very, very close to us, and he's definitely going to size up a move here. I didn't know how to defend this because, of course, this is such a long back straight here. You can see I'm going to pull over to the inside line here. Hamilton's going to come flying through with DRS here, and he has got the job done here. However, I actually made a bit of a mistake here. I actually let go of my pad a little bit, and I went onto the grass and hit the DRS board, and I locked up into the brakes here. So I was actually using, as I race on a controller, you guys don't know that, I actually let go of the analog stick, and I went straight into the grass. Completely my fault there. I literally just let go. My finger literally just slipped off, because this was a sweaty, difficult race. I'm telling you that right now. However, that mistake of me letting go of the analog stick has unfortunately given Hamilton the lead of the race, and quite frankly, I wasn't going to catch Hamilton anytime soon. To be honest, I didn't even know how long I was going to defend against Hamilton. I'd have about 6 or 7 laps of Hamilton just constantly coming back at me, so I was not sure. On to lap 10 of the Grand Prix though. Now it's Sebastian Vettel that fancies a runner, so it seems that because the AIs, I managed to take advantage of the AIs against the pit stop that I had, and also because of the negotiating the traffic, but you can clearly see that Hamilton's pulling away in the distance, and I've got Vettel, Rosberg, and Ricciardo, or that's Verstappen, I believe it is. Yeah, it's Verstappen, right on the back of me. So it's clear to see that I don't have the pace, but Rosberg goes for a move here on Vettel. Then they both go, we've got 3 abreast now coming into this corner here. In fact, we've got all 4 cars trying to find a way past here. Epic racing here down the inside of Nico Rosberg. We're going to maintain the position on Rosberg, and Rosberg now gets in front of Vettel, but Rosberg's got great traction out of the hairpin here, and he fancies a good run. Let's see it down into the final corner here. Breaking into the final corner, we're going to shove Rosberg wide, and we're not going to let Nico through. So if I can't defend from Lewis Hamilton, you can see they're pulling away into the distance. I've now got to face off against Rosberg, Vettel, and Verstappen. It's now Verstappen and Vettel all going for a move, but that's an engine blow up. Someone in the background has actually blown up here, so I'm trying to look at this here. I'm flicking through the comments. It's Verstappen. Verstappen has got an engine failure here at the Chinese Grand Prix, and that is his race over and done with as Vettel and Rosberg fight each other, and the virtual safety car has been released because of Verstappen's engine failure. So wow. Okay, a lot of action going on in this race. Now, the virtual safety car is ending here, and as you can see, I'm just going to take full advantage of the delta here. Chuck the car into rich fuel mixture. I'm like 1.3 seconds under the delta, which you shouldn't meant to be, but there's too much time for me to reduce my racing speed that I couldn't be bothered. Onto the final lap of the Grand Prix though, lap 14 now. This is the final lap here. Nico Rosberg is all over the back of me right now as we come down through this banking corner. Will Rosberg snatch what will be a fantastic second place in this Grand Prix for myself here? As you can see, we're coming around this banking corner here. Can Nico Rosberg get in front of us? You can see here, he's going to pull over to the right-hand side of the circuit here with the DRS open. That Mercedes is just so fast in a straight line. There's no way I'm getting past him there. Nico Rosberg is up into second place, but I don't give a damn. It's the final lap. I'm going for it down the inside into the hairpin we go, and we stay in front of Nico Rosberg. Vettel tries it, but Vettel is held off by Nico Rosberg, and we break nice and late down the inside into the final corner. Lewis Hamilton wins the Chinese Grand Prix, but from 14th on the grid, I managed to come home and take second place in this race, and do you know what? I will take it. The second place here is exactly what I needed. I do not mind taking second place in this race at all. For starting so far back, I'm quite frankly ecstatic to be on the podium. And even though I finished seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, even though I did have the lead of the race at one point, I'll tell you what, I will take it. The Chinese Grand Prix is a track that I do not perform well at all. Now you can say, hey Foxy, you just got second place. What do you mean you don't perform well at? The thing is I took full advantage into turn 1. I went round the outside. Everyone took the inside line and they were all slow, so I was able to get past. Annoyingly, the yellow flags cost me and I could have gained a bit more time. And then I took advantage in the pit stops when everyone came in very early and was stuck in the traffic. And then, of course, I managed to get past all the traffic quicker than the AIs did. But eventually, when it came to it in terms of clean air, and when we didn't have any traffic, no advantages, all on the same size, everything like that, we were all at the same pace. The AIs were a lot faster than myself. So really, taking second place and beating one of the Mercedes drivers who are quicker than me is a fantastic achievement. And what a Grand Prix we have had here at the Chinese, here at Shanghai. A brilliant result there. So as you can see then in the full classification, I managed to take second place with Rosberg ahead of Ricciardo, Massa, Alonso, and then Vettel. So somehow Vettel dropped down the order quite rapidly, so I'm not sure what happened to Sebastian in that event. Overall then, Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the drivers' standings by 4 points now, so he is back in the lead of the standings ahead of myself and then Nico Rosberg, so that's a good result for Lewis Hamilton. And he now retains the drivers' standings at the top. Into the constructors' standings, Mercedes are now in front of us by, I believe that says 12 or 13 points after Vettel finishing down in 7th place. So overall, it's been a very good Grand Prix for myself and a brilliant recovery. And of course, with China not being the strongest of circuits for me, I'm really proud of that. And of course, the next race we've got is the Russian Grand Prix, in which you have seen from my Red Bull career mode, I absolutely dominated out on Ultimate AI. So hopefully we can do the same thing here. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this Grand Prix. And I do make an engine upgrade because I felt like the straight line speed is very, very poor. But until then, guys, I'll see you for another race very soon. Take care. Peace.